Have you ever felt that whisper in your soul calling you to something more, but all the things spinning around in your mind have kept you stuck? Well, what if I told you that choosing excellence could be both easier and more adventurous than you could ever imagine? I am Chelsea DeBruin-Colbert, your host of All Things Excellence. I'm a soul catalyst for excellence who leapt off that corporate cliff and left small-town Iowa farm life in my 20s to follow my calling, helping women come home to themselves by anchoring into who they're designed to be. I create sacred containers where women rediscover their truth, design their dream life, and transform those whispers into action. Now you can find me running my business from the soccer sidelines as a coach's wife, hiking my favorite Arizona mountain, or back in Iowa with my family, or on an adventure chasing my next sunrise, hot cup of coffee and journal in hand. Through intimate conversations about the stories, the traumas, and the transformations behind choosing excellence, we're creating a collective healing journey together. I believe in diving deep into personality designs, experimenting boldly, and learning life's greatest lessons through our beautiful chaos. Every week, my guests and I are going to rip down the curtains so you can see behind the scenes of real transformation as we explore what excellence actually looks like. Not just the highlight reel, but that messy middle where the magic happens. Whether you're seeking inspiration to take that leap or already on your journey and craving connection, this is your invitation to join us. So grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready to discover just how close you are to the life your soul is calling you to create. This is All Things Excellence. Hello, All Things Excellence fam. Welcome back today. Today we were talking about Enneagram and marriage. And for that, I have brought back one of our favorite guests that have ever been on this show. Most loved, most listened to episode. This is my husband, Kobi, really? With the most downloads.
Yeah.
It's one of the top, yeah. Yeah. I think it probably has the most YouTube views.
Heck yeah, dude.
Because you tend to be more visual than you are audible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so people tended to go to YouTube to then watch you. So we are going to talk about, I'm a certified Enneagram coach. I help a lot of individuals, small businesses, and couples with their communication in their relationship, and a lot of family members. So I help them in their communication with their relationship using the modality, the personality tool called the Enneagram. There are 9 different types on the Enneagram. There are 3 that are more head thinker based, 3 that are more heart feeler based, and 3 that are more gut anger based. We are actually both in the gut anger triad, and I am what is called the type 8, which can be called the challenger. And he is called the type 9, which is more known as a peacemaker. And we're going to read a little bit about that today. But we're also going to talk about how we found it, how it's helped us, and just some really great things about how we use this tool in our marriage, not as a sword or a shield, but really as a great tool that helps us communicate a lot better. So first, do you remember how we found it?
Nolan, right?
Nolan.
Yeah.
Yes, Nolan, our best friend.
My best friend.
His best friend, that is like an awesome brother-in-law to me. He kept bringing it to me and introducing it to me, not to you, because he knew that you would not be interested.
No, that's not my cup of tea at all.
Not his thing. Nolan was in school, and honestly, he was in seminary, and he learned about it. And he kept bringing it to me when he would come and visit for the little bromance weekends. And then one weekend I finally totally gave in, and I Googled and I found a quiz, which now since then I've become certified and learned that 67% of people mistype. So if you took a test and it told you your number, most likely it's wrong. But it could be right. And the biggest reason that it could be wrong is you could be in stress or security when you take the test. So like there are a lot of stressed out 2s, Enneagram 2s in this world that take the test and they type as an 8. I had someone that I talked to earlier today. She had typed as a 1, but she is a 7. 7s go to 1 in stress. She took it in stress when she wanted when she wanted to learn more about herself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it really just depends on the mood that you're in, which is why it's really great to work with a typing specialist instead. So, okay, do you remember when I was in the John Townsend Leadership Program, we'd really started diving into the Enneagram. Do you remember what Ben asked you about it?
No, I don't.
So our friend Ben from the program, he goes, We were out to dinner with him, and he loves the Enneagram.
Yeah.
He's a type 4, the individualist. Very unique. He's our friend that he's like, there's like 99 definitions for love. And I'm like, Ben, there's one. And he's like, there are 99. I'm like, okay, cool, bro. I, I believe that you believe that there are 99 because that is very 4 of you to make all the definitions of love very unique, very individual, very specific. Our guest, Andrea, who was on Wednesday, she helps people find their color branding like a unique fingerprint, who is also an Enneagram 4.
Right up your alley.
Makes a lot of sense, right?
Yep.
Totally designed for it. It also helps you understand like why you do what you do and the way you do things and the careers that you're designed for. And Ben said to you, he said, when Chelsea brought the Enneagram to you, were you like, oh my gosh, another thing, another tool from her? Or were you like, oh, this is cool? Do you remember him asking that?
No, I don't remember him asking that.
Yeah, he asked you that.
What was my response? Because I don't remember my response.
You said, I will never forget your response. Because I'd thrown a lot of things at you.
That's so many things at me.
We went on a date.
No.
We went on a date. Or was it to date me, you had to take all the things?
Yes. To date you, I had to take all... No. I don't remember. Maybe.
Regardless, you had to take all the personality things.
Yeah, but you always pitched it as like, oh, this is going to help me in my job, so like you need to take this. And
I also said, I'm going to bring this to my therapist to see how I can best communicate with you.
yes.
Yeah, so I had him do all, like, Strengths Finder, DISC, all of them back in the day. We're like 25 years old, and I'm making him take every single possible thing, and I'm bringing it to my therapist, just making sure I got it right this time in my dating, because I'd gotten it wrong very consistently. They can't hear your thoughts like that.
I don't need to hear it. People on YouTube, they watch me more
No,
than anything.
like,
I said, did you hear that twang?
oh, did you hear that twang? But it's still like a 10 to 1. For every 10 people that listen, one person watches.
Okay.
So it's, you got to speak it. Okay, so but you said to Ben, I have never had something. What, do you remember you said that?
Yeah, I mean, something so accurately described me.
Yes.
Like, it was offensive how accurate the description for 9 was.
You remember him asking you this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, because you were like, literally, like, that. You were like, that
because
is so
you have thrown so many things out at me. Like,
so many.
Your, what was the 5 things?
The love languages?
The strength finders.
Oh, your top 5 strengths.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But, like, there's, how many different strengths can you
34.
possibly have? Oh, I thought there was more.
But still, there's
34.
A lot. Yeah.
Like, picking out your 5 of that, and then, yeah, when you were reading it, obviously I was always kind of like apprehensive about what you were talking to me about, but when you started to describe
the Enneagram 9, the Peacemaker.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
It's like, what motivates you? Okay, so you guys, I even have I have a whole workbook that I work with my clients in the Enneagram with. And do you remember when I had to buy access to all these workbooks. So I paid to get certified. And then I paid on top of that to have access to these workbooks so I could use these presentation tools. Do you remember we're sitting on your back patio and I read the How to Get Along with Me for you? How to Get Along with an Enneagram 9.
I mean, I know it now, but I don't remember you diving into it.
Unless this is your first episode and you've never met me, then some of these will come as a shock to you as to like why this is really a challenge for me. How to Get Along with Kobi, the Enneagram 9. I may be slower than you, so please don't rush me and be patient. Oh my gosh. Slowest storyteller ever!
I just want to give all the details, and Chelsea's like, whenever Chelsea tells me a story, it's always a long story about things you don't really care about. I'm like, well, maybe I do kind of care about that stuff.
Do you think you do?
I don't know, probably not.
I feel like you do care. So I try to give you like I try to give you the cliff notes of the cliff notes.
And sometimes I just want content. Like, oh, I don't understand what's happening here, and then you get mad at me because like, slower than you.
I'm trying to say the story fast.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to keep you engaged.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm like, who's this person again?
I know. And so then I've got to do this whole backstory, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm jumping all over, and then I feel like I'm like my mom, the Enneagram 7, because I'm jumping all over the place, which makes sense in its own way. Number 2, tell me that my presence matters. Do you feel that? That I want you to be around?
Yes.
You don't feel innately that your presence matters?
No.
Like, I need to be like, I love you being in my space.
Yes.
Which is funny, because he most of the time doesn't love anyone being in his space.
Well, also, when we first started dating, you said quality time is you just being in the same house as me.
In my defense, my emotions were very amputated at the time, and I had to reattach my emotions. I was
But
very emotionally cut off.
okay,
Yes. And I would say you're pretty emotionally cut off and you've been working on it.
yeah.
But you still want me to tell you that your presence matters?
Do I?
Yeah. Were you like other
Um,
people? Like, what does that mean? So, how could someone at your job, he works at a school, how could someone at your job say to you, your presence matters without being like, Aaron, his legal name is Aaron. Aaron, your presence matters. Like, what does that mean? Like, how could somebody at the school say that? Or maybe somebody has.
I think it's just like could be
Was it like the day that Dana wanted to make sure you were happy because they love
yeah.
having you around?
I think so. Or just appreciating the random stuff that is done that
Yeah.
nobody really does, and
The baseball team does a great job of that.
absolutely
Yeah.
yes,
Like,
a lot of people do a great job about it.
yes. I'm just saying the baseball team because I'm aware of it.
But I also think teachers have an understanding of the underappreciation for the
Mm.
role. So whenever somebody's doing something out of their
Hmm.
realm, or if
Hmm.
it's not in their job description, they're like, well, thank you so much for doing that, because
They
they do
know
it
that.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to me until I finish talking.
I'm giving just the most angry face right now for all you people listening.
And I'm covering up my face. It's so bad. Okay, because here's the thing. I may be slower than you, so please don't rush me and be patient. So it's like, hey, P.S., I'm the slowest storyteller of all time. My thoughts come slower to me than anybody else on the planet. I literally, like, you are, they call them like the sloth. Not like sloth and they're lazy, but sloth and like it takes a sloth 5 hours to cross the street. And P.S., listen to me until I finish talking. And I have so many questions within the story, and then he's telling me context that I don't care about, but then the questions that I do want to know, you get very upset when I interrupt you and ask.
Yeah, I do. Drives me up a wall.
Yes,
So I'm like, I
15.
will get to it. Just let me explain the details. But you're like, no, facts, facts, facts.
Yeah, he wants to do this giant rollout of the details, and I'm like, can we
I'm
not?
not a very good storyteller either, which I think
I think that's hard because I come from a lineage of excellent storytellers.
my uncle's a good storyteller. That's
Your
it.
uncle's a good storyteller.
Uncle Robert. That's it.
Yeah. I would say both sides of my family are pretty good storytellers.
Yes.
There's a lot of storytelling happening, a lot of out storytelling. Who
Yeah.
can out storytell another in my fam on both sides. So we're very captivating. Yeah. Okay. I enjoy listening and having discussions, but I do not like tension and conflict.
I hate tension and conflict more than anything in the world, Ron.
Yeah. And here's what's tough about that is I actually love it. Like eights kind of love tension and conflict because they feel like it's causing them to have a more intimate, close relationship with that person. Enter in said best friend and his wife. The four of us went.
Oh my gosh.
The four of us went on a trip to Zion. So we're in the middle of nowhere. Backpacking, hiking, whatever. Not backpacking. We had backpacks and we were hiking. And we get back to our cabin and his wife and
For a
I.
nice little evening by the fire.
Yes.
That was the plan.
S'mores and all.
Yes.
S'mores and all. I still think it was
Chili, s'mores.
chili. Yes, I made chili. We had s'mores. I thought it was so wonderful and so delightful. Kobe's an Enneagram 9. He does not like tension and conflict. Our friend's wife, who we love and adore, is an Enneagram 2. So they are the helper. They just like love to be loved and need to feel that they are included and worthy and all those things. And then his best friend is the 5, they are like the professors. So they thrive on feeling competent in the environment and like they have all the information to bring to a discussion. That increases their confidence. And then me, the 8, who shot out of the womb, confident, just ready to battle ready to battle and challenge every single day. Well, the wife and I had gotten into this really deep discussion on our hike that I decided I would just thought it would be a fun discussion around the fire. No one else thought it was that fun. Actually, that's not true. I think Nolan and I were having a lot of fun. So Nolan and I are duking it out hardcore. It was so awesome. We had a great time.
But you're duking it out over
A
Well,
campfire.
yeah, but
It
what you
was
were
a close
discussing,
topic. It was
yeah.
a very close topic. Like, it was close to the heart topic that we were duking it out over, but we were having a good time not agreeing. Like, we were discussing it. We were absolutely not seeing eye to eye, but we were discussing it hardcore. And the other was trying to help the other see the
I'm just trying to
others.
crack jokes to ease attention to,
He's
because
trying to
I'm
crack
like, guys,
jokes.
fire, let's just chill.
Yeah, and we're having a great time. And then we kind of get to the point where we're like, we've kind of like hashed this out. And then he was like, hey, I just love that we can have these discussions. I was like, bro, me too. It's so good. And then we were cool. And it was like topic over. And we're like, how are you guys?
No, you weren't like, how are you guys? Because Tashi beat me to the punch and just did the old Irish goodbye before I could, so that I was stuck there to make sure that you guys, in my mind, that you guys didn't go blow to blow,
We would
and
never have gone blow to blow.
maybe.
No.
I don't know, man.
First of all, I would never go blow to blow with Nolan
Yeah,
because
because you would lose.
he's strong. He's super fit and muscular. And
I made him say uncle once, though, so he's not that strong.
But regardless, that made me feel like, oh my gosh, it made us. So when a five feels safe and secure in their environment, they go to that eight. So Nolan at his best self becomes a lot like me. And so for the two of us, we had a lot of fun. We felt like it got our relationship a million times closer than it already was.
Between you and Nolan?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we didn't have a fun drive home.
Our
I know
spouses.
Nolan and Tashi did not have a fun drive to Las Vegas for their flight, because the amount of tension that it created was...
Yeah, and then I was like, this is awesome. This is great. It was a really good time. Also, it was so wonderful for me, who just loves learning about people and how the different dynamics between people and how it works between the different Enneagram types in relationship. It was so cool for me to get a deeper understanding of fives with Nolan, because I think you don't meet as many fives. You meet a lot of twos, you meet a lot of nines, you meet a lot of sixes. You don't meet a lot of fives. So it was a very good time for me. But he would have rather died, and I thought it was a good time. We haven't gone on vacation together since. That's not true. They did come to us after that.
That's true, they did.
Yeah, but I think they already had their ticket spot.
And they drove in a different car, so that way we didn't have...
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Okay, last one, how to get along with Enneagram 9s. I tend to focus on others, so take the time to really focus on me. I don't know about that one for you.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like because you are an only child, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so I feel like as an only child, you don't really experience that.
No.
No, you maybe have the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in some ways...
Your only childness.
We'll focus on others.
So take the time to really focus on me. I mean, I guess like at the school is a really, really great example. He'll get home or I'll come by the school and I'll open the refrigerator and he's got lunch from the past 4 days still in the refrigerator, which drives me insane because I'm like, this is bad for your body. This is bad for your health. And he, meanwhile, is so focused. You're so focused on taking care of all the kids and all the staff and being there for everybody in the way that you need to be there for them, that you do that before you stop and sit down and eat.
Correct.
Your lunch.
Yeah.
Which we have learned since then. Recently, we did learn that it's kind of in your human design personality where you can't eat in chaos.
Correct. But I also feel like that goes back to kind of the conflict thing and trying to avoid conflict, because a lot of stuff is, if it's not done, lunchtime is like crunch time at the school, because once you hit lunch, then all the sports and everything like that, that's when
because he sets up for all the sports.
Right.
You set up for all the sports and you make sure all the pieces of equipment are in the right place. Yeah. Everybody has their jerseys every day. Like, it's such a weird day today that there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so you really need to be better about eating before 11.
Yeah.
You need to like really fuel your day early.
Mm-hmm.
And then snack your way through the afternoon.
Yeah.
When you're hungry and need fuel.
Yeah. But so I think me focusing on others is also kind of me thinking, well, if I don't get it done, then people are going to be like, hey, where's this at? Why isn't this set up?
And then there's going to be conflict.
Yep.
And people will be upset with you.
And I'll be like, dude, I was just trying to eat lunch.
And then you're going to feel like your presence doesn't matter.
Boom.
There we go. It's all right there. Yeah, so the core fear of a 9, they fear being in conflict, being separated, uncomfortable, unimportant, overlooked, alone, or in an inharmonious relationship. I don't know what the heck you started dating me for, but You like chose your own poison there.
I did.
Yeah, their core desire is to have inner stability and peace of mind. Yeah, your core weakness is
Mm-hmm.
sloth, which isn't laziness. It isn't laziness. Uh, it's the sloth really is that they fall asleep to the intentionality of their relationships.
Hmm.
You feel that. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are times that you want to sloth so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to just zone out and lock yourself in a room for like 4 days and pretend you don't have a wife.
Yes.
Yes.
Or that
two and a half.
humanity exists in general.
Yeah, anybody. It's not even
Minus
about
the
me.
people that I'm playing on Xbox.
But I think as a wife, I would feel constantly like he didn't love me or he didn't want to spend time with me. My love language is quality time. Yours is words of affirmation.
Probably.
Yeah, being told he's awesome. And so his need to, when he gets overstimulated, you check out to the intentionality of your relationships. You just want to be alone to recharge.
Mm-hmm.
And then my quality time love language kicks in and it's like, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to spend time with me. He doesn't love me. So the Enneagram really helped us to find a middle ground with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, realizing like it has nothing to do with me at all. But then you also had to find a middle ground where you're like, oh yeah, I do have a wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is one thing with kids I always worry extremely that I'm like, you don't even have enough bandwidth for me right now. Like, how would you have enough bandwidth for me if you had kids in the house?
That's fair.
It's a very fair,
Yeah.
it's a fair fear, people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, your core longing is that your presence matters, that people care that you're around, which I see that in you because you do like being everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are the best friend at the party, and not like a 7 way, but in a different way.
Just want to be a good person.
I think you like to feel included.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
With the people that you care about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You.
As long as it's something that I want to do.
Right. You don't do anything you don't want to do.
No.
He also has a really strong wing one, which is the one is the perfectionist, and I think that you're actually 51% Enneagram 1. The perfectionist. Can you explain what that looks like in your life? How does your office look at work? Or this room for this
I mean,
matter?
I was going to say this room's pretty much an example of
These perfectly spaced frames.
Frames.
Your office,
It's very clean. Actually, when we sat down, I was like, "Ooh, this desk is kind of dirty. It's going to drive me nuts. I can kind of do one of these."
Not that he doesn't wipe it off most days. And then at work, you're just very meticulous. But I think like where you can find out if you're an Enneagram 1 over a 9, which went really back and forth for you, I feel like I saw it most where I feel like you are a little OCD in your environment because then it feels more peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, especially at work because you'll have people come in and be like, "Hey, where's this at?" And then if I take 5-10 minutes to be like, "Oh, I don't really know where it's at," or "I'm not really sure."
So lack of organization at work creates tension.
In my opinion, like
In
it
your opinion.
may not matter to other people because they're like, "Yeah, just find it and get it to me." But I'm like, "Let me get this out right now. Let me find this for you and get you on your way." Because especially in the coaching world, you have a specific time where, let's say, practice starts at 2:30. You have your athletes there until 4:30.
It's just all very crunched together.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that if the football coach asks, "Hey, where are the cones at?" Boom, here you go. Get out to your guys.
Yeah.
Make your team the best they can be.
Like, I would organize his office in the way that it's organized because I want excellence. Because, like, it's who I am. Like, I am, like, the highest caliber bar person in everything. Like, if you're going to do it well, do it the best, do it great. An Enneagram 3, who's the achiever, they would want it to be efficient. So they would keep that room really organized because they would want to make sure it's efficient. An Enneagram 1 would have it all meticulous just because they want it to be perfect. Like our friend Kelly, if there's like spots of water on the sink, it makes her insane and crazy. And so now, because I just want to meet her bar, I get really anxious every time I use the restroom at her office because I got to make sure I get all the water spots off the sink. Is she a 1? Yeah, Kelly, yeah.
Okay, because of the spots that resonates with me.
That resonates with you?
Yeah.
The spots, the water spots?
At Orange Theory, I would always walk into the bathrooms after class.
No.
And I would, because it just drove me nuts.
And you would what?
Because it just looks tacky, in my opinion.
The what? The water spot?
Yeah.
Around the sink?
Yeah.
And you would clean the sink?
Yeah.
Aw. And Kelly's like, why are these animals not drying their hands and then drying off the counter?
I do that too, actually.
You do that too in public?
Yeah.
Stop it.
As long as it's not like
when you're in public and you kind of like let's say you were at Restore and you wash your hands, would you then take the paper towel and wipe around the sink?
yeah. Once I wipe your hands, wipe around the sink, toss it in the trash.
Kelly's crying listening to this. She's howling. She's laughing so hard listening to that.
I'm not an animal.
I know. I'm not an animal. Here's my thing, y'all. I'm already 5 steps out that door before I'm even done using the restroom. So then to stop and think about wiping down the sink, like I'm not even there anymore. My body has physically left that room. My mind has left my mind has left the room. My body's still physically in there, but I'm not in there anymore. So I'm not thinking about those things that y'all are thinking about. Okay.
But I also kind of resonate with like the 3 in the efficiency. Yeah.
Well, so when a 9 feels very safe and secure in their environment, they go to a 3. And so you would take the best pieces of a 3. So you would want to feel like an achiever. You'd want to feel successful. You'd want people to see you as successful. You'd want people to see you as like having it together, and you would want things to be efficient.
That makes sense. So I feel like the equipment room.
Yeah, your room at work, which is a giant room with gajillions of dollars in equipment.
Yeah.
Is like, how does it make you feel when people walk in there and they're like think about when Denise and David were just here and they walked into that equipment room and Denise was like, yes.
Makes me brush the shirt off brush my shoulders off there.
It made you feel so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were like.
But it's also.
And I just looked at her and said, I told you I married you.
Yeah. But it's also innately, that's just how I am.
Yes.
Like the closet is color coordinated, efficiency, OCD.
Is that more about peace, or is it like you do it to create peace, but then you feel stable and secure in your environment, so then you're like, look good, feel good?
The closet?
Yeah.
It's just so I can find something faster.
Oh, it is
like
efficiency.
I'm looking for this black. I'm like, okay, go to the black section.
Yeah.
Hood section.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. It is efficiency.
Yep.
Yep. There you go, guys. There you go. So, yeah, I think knowing that you are an Enneagram 9, that it literally disrupts your nervous system when things are a little bit hectic and crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it wasn't something I could change. At first I was like, you need to chill, you need to grow up, like you need to tell your story faster, you need to like just chill. Literally, you need to like chill at life. And then when I realized that like there's a certain level of my tornado he can handle and a certain level of my intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, our bedroom is a disaster.
It's because I've been working a bazillion miles an hour and I got sick for a few weeks.
Sure.
And then I got behind on laundry. And now I'm disrupting his peace.
It's a disaster
it's
in there.
Not good.
So I'm like, I'm just going to
He's calling it a disaster. For the record, he's calling it a disaster. For the record, there is my tiny suitcase.
It's a disaster.
There's my tiny suitcase from the wedding that I was just in, and there are 2 baskets with clothes in them. That's what it is. That's what it is. Like it's.
You are a barbarian.
Yeah. So that's I just want people to know that is absolute level 10 chaos for him. But here's something that's very fun. So when we first started dating and we were first married. And I was working like a billion hours a week to burn out. And I would have dishes in the sink at night. And you would lose your mind. And you were pretty critical to me about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You were admittedly critical.
Absolutely.
And now that he is in school full time and works a bazillion hours a week, you go to bed with dishes in the sink, don't you?
Sometimes, yeah. But when you're not here, there are not any dishes in the sink.
What?
Yeah.
That's because you're not eating.
That's because I'm not an animal and I pick up after myself.
No, that's because you make a frozen pizza. That's because you make a frozen pizza.
To not make a mess.
And you eat it right off that box
yeah,
that you slid it out on. So for the sake of not disrupting his peace, he doesn't even make dishes dirty. Okay, so how to get along with me, the Enneagram 8. Stand up.
Hold on a second. Just shake this one out real quick. All right, go ahead.
Okay. How to get along with me, the Enneagram 8. Stand up for yourself and me. And me, specifically. I think that the greatest area of growth that you have grown through this, that you realized was important to me, was that when it's very important to me, you will stand up to your family, which I think is a big deal in marriage.
Yep.
Yeah, if you are married to an Enneagram 8 and you do not stand up for them to your family, you need to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
That is a non-negotiable.
Yep.
Be confident, strong, and direct. How much does it make you crazy? And I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously, knock it off. Stop having low self-esteem about this.
I want to throat punch you. I want to throat punch you. The amount of times that you say, "Oh, that person's just insecure," I'm like, "That's that's not it. That's not it."
Okay, but now that you've been around, how much is it?
It's probably a lot.
It's probably a lot, right? So at Enneagram 8s, they really are born pretty innately confident. We just come out of the womb like, yep, I'm awesome. It's not from an ego standpoint. It's just from our oh my gosh, it's in the Strengths Finders test. It's self-assurance. We just come out of the womb with like very high self-assurance. Like we know who we are and we know who we're not, and we're cool with it, you know? And I think that I'm very people will make comments when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really, really great at that. And they're like, oh, you're humble too. And I'm like, are we in are we on the school grounds? Because if we weren't, I'd flip you off. You know, it makes me
shock face.
I know, it makes me so mad. I get very angry very fast when people say that. But it's like I can tell you all the areas that I suck too. Did you struggle with that? Did you think I was arrogant, or you just
I
knew?
don't think so.
You always knew, like
I just believed your BS. To be honest with you,
it's not BS. I know where I'm great and where I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I know you see. Okay, I know you see a strong and intense exterior, but please know that I actually have a tender heart that I'm protecting.
God, you are such a yeah. You are such a baby. Just
I,
the biggest softie in the world.
I am a big baby. My feelings get hurt pretty. I wouldn't say my feelings get hurt easily, but when they're hurt, they are like hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
I would say I don't want to say emotional, but
yeah,
you definitely, your emotions are higher than most people.
Oh, you mean yeah? Like
Just
when I'm happy,
everything.
I'm like really, really happy. When I'm
you're
sad, I'm
angry.
really sad. When I'm
Yeah.
mad, I'm really mad.
When you're doing your anger cry.
Yeah, eights don't cry like sad cry. They mad cry.
Yeah, you're mad about everything when you're sad.
I'm actually when I'm mad or sad, I'm just mad.
Yes.
I don't get sad.
I don't think you know what being sad is. I think it's a mixed emotion because sad is mad to you.
Sad is mad. Like I'm so sad that I'm mad.
Because isn't an 8 all about justification? Like it has to be justified.
Yeah, and fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when the rude neighbor guy came over and I was just like blowing up the world about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what really was the thing was our neighbor guy, who's 75 years old and bless his heart, he told me that because we've been married for 10 years and we don't have kids, that I was broken, I need to get it fixed. Which was the rudest thing anybody could say, right? But what he didn't know was like, I'm also turned 40 this year, and I think I'm just very sad that we never got the opportunity to have kids. And so I've been internally processing that to myself. So then he said that to me, and then I start losing my mind, raging, angry, mad.
Yeah.
Everywhere. To him and to my family group text and then to my friends. And I'm fuming and like screaming and swearing up a storm on the phone to my friends who understand me, knowing that really, I think if I was a different personality, I probably would have sat on the couch with a pint of ice cream and cried all day long and eaten ice cream.
Instead, you plotted his murder.
I did not plot his murder. I did not plot his murder.
A little bit.
But I was actually, no, you know what I was mad about? Then I was more mad that when I text my family group chat, my one brother was like, oh boy, we're in trouble. And then the other brother got mad back at me. And I'm like, the appropriate response is, are we bringing the shovel? Or do you already have it? Like that was the appropriate response to the rude neighbor guy. Like I needed you to have my back. Because acknowledge that I'm protective and providing, but don't flatter me. Oh, I hate flattery. We have somebody in our life that does that a lot.
Yeah.
The flattery thing. I just feel like it's so patronizing. I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Especially if you already know you're great, you don't need to be told it.
Literally, I already know that I'm awesome. Like, why are you telling me that? It's so weird. I can speak bluntly and assertively. Please don't automatically assume that means I'm angry or attacking you.
Sometimes the bluntly, that's where it really just triggers my...
You get really triggered.
Peace of mind. Like, oh
yeah.
Gosh, what are you talking about?
And I am like, I'm sorry, I didn't remember to wrap what I was saying in blankets. I was just trying to get things done and I was trying to move things along quickly. But to I'm like disrupting his peace.
Right. Yeah. It's just weird because I feel like in our society right now, people are so... Even if you're stating your own opinion, your opinion doesn't matter if it doesn't align with theirs. And so a lot of times you give your opinion in public. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Please
I
do
give
not.
my opinion in public? Oh, and
Yeah.
it's not about the fact that I'm giving my opinion in public. You're more about what they're going to say.
Yeah. Like, you can have your opinion all you want.
Yeah, you're more worried about their reaction.
Yeah. Because I just don't want to have a throwdown in fries because
I told someone
somebody
that they were
doesn't like
ridiculous.
yeah.
But then there are other times where you love it. So there was like an interesting circumstance at the school yesterday. It was a lot of tension. Like, it was actually intense. It was like 75 people.
Well, you don't have to talk about it.
There was more than that. We can't even legally talk about it. But we'll just say.
But it's not like that bad.
No. But
it was just parents being parents.
Yeah. It was two kids.
At an athletic event.
It was two kids being ridiculous that caused parents to get very protective at this event. And what was that like for you?
For me,
I thought you did such a great job.
It didn't involve me whatsoever.
Yeah.
So honestly, I was pretty entertained.
You were
with
entertained?
The whole thing, yeah.
He was pretty entertained, and y'all, the moment I saw those two getting ready to walk on that field, I had my phone up. I was videotaping. I was like, they're up to no good. This 8 is like coming to battle. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, when the police came, I was like making sure I made the rounds.
Yep.
I made the rounds to make sure all the right people turned in their stories to support the people that needed to be supported. Because that is the thing to know about an 8 is that they are like the ultimate, they're the ultimate got your back people.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you're in, like, you're in for life. I wouldn't recommend doing something to get kicked out of their circle. That's not really a good life choice. But I was like telling our friend that was involved in that earlier this morning, she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I was like, just so you know, like, once you're in, like, I got your back for life. Like, I will just do anything. Yeah. And so you were entertained. Like, oh my gosh, that was the most insane thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, man.
People just like erupted and were being like crazy people. Like, what is literally happening right now? I'm videoing all of it, but then I'm also making sure I'm gathering all the adequate evidence to make sure that the people that I love and care about would be taken care of, and that they would be okay, and that there wouldn't be any. Because 8s are all about justice. We're all about fairness, right? Like, we make really great lawyers. And so I wanted to make sure that everything was good and just and fair. 8's core fear, being weak and powerless and being out of control. Like, we don't need to be in control. We just don't want to be controlled. You know?
Yep.
Our core desire is to protect ourselves, but I also think to protect our people. I remember being like 16 years old, and I told a girl that I would basically like take her to the train station if she ever did that to ever was mean to my brother again. And my mom was in the bathroom, and she was like,
Amtrak in Ottumwa?
No, like RIP, like on Yellowstone. RIP takes people to the train station.
Nope.
He throws them off a cliff.
Oh, okay. Didn't understand that reference.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And my mom was like standing right here in the bathroom, and I was at the stove and I was cooking, and my mom was like, did you say this to so-and-so? And I was like, yep, sure did. And she was like, what made you think that you could say that? And I was like, this is what she did to my brother. And she was like, Chelsea, we can't say those things. And I was like, but I meant it. And she was like, we can't say those things. And I was like, but Mom, I meant it. And if she thinks about bothering my brother again, I will do it this time. And she was like, we cannot say those things. That's how we end up in jail. So I was like, so we just do them? We don't say them? Like, what are we doing here? And she was just like, oh my gosh. But I remember learning that I was an 8 and learning how we're so fierce and so protective for our people. And that was that first moment that I thought back to and thought, oh my gosh, yes. Or like when I was in 4th grade, there was a girl who was really mean and bullied, about 4 of us. And I created a whole like class gazette so we could leave class sometimes and be on our own. And we had this whole project. So it was like very distracting, but yet empowering to this small group of people, which is also a very 8 thing to do.
Yes. And if I ordered something at a restaurant and it comes out wrong, I know I'm getting the right thing because homegirl's going to say something, even though I would just eat it. Cause...
And you kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I'll say, do you want to just eat this, or do you want me to fix this for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh, actually, it looks kind of good, so I'm just going to eat that instead.
Yeah. Kind of like when we were at North Italia and they accidentally brought out gluten noodles.
That's actually the opposite, because I wanted those gluten noodles so bad. I ate like 3 of them.
They were the best noodles of my life.
the most heavenly noodles ever.
And we thought they were gluten-free, and then she comes running out. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, that is gluten.
And then she pulls out this. You know they were in just
They were
a
from a
basic
box.
Yeah.
Basic box. North Italia gluten-free noodles. Do not go. Do not waste your time. It is the saddest thing in the world.
It was still good. The sauce was still good.
Yes.
But
yeah. Yeah, it was sad. So in that time you do wish.
Yeah.
The core weakness is lust, and it is lust for intensity. Like, I loved that situation yesterday. It was awesome. Yeah. I even followed the intensity all the way to the parking lot just to make sure everything was going to be great. It was awesome. It's where I shine. And then their core.
That is true. You did really.
I'm really
rise
great.
up at that point when things were going crazy and you were just filming everybody and making sure that you were getting all of the content that we needed.
Yeah. I was being very, very assertive and strategic in that moment.
Yeah.
And even though, like, there was like one of the high conflict people, he was not happy that I was filming, and he's twice my size and known for being aggressive. And I was like, hey man, you're on my grounds and I'll continue videoing you until you leave. And then he was like, can I see that video? And I was like, unfortunately not, because I need to video you until you leave, but I'm sure we can send it to you.
Yep.
I know he's not probably used to that with his own wife, but I showed him something different. It was a really good time. I will say that I think a lot of most men struggle with that version of me.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in this region of the world.
Where we live in our town.
Yeah.
In our valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a really conservative valley, and most men here, and then most men where I'm from, we grew up in Iowa, really struggled with that, just because, yeah. I'm strong and assertive.
It's not the traditional norm, as you'd say.
Yeah, there's not a single ounce of, like, sit down, be quiet, and submit wife in me. I, like, submit to you as, like, the leader of our household, but just not in, like, a keep your mouth shut kind of way.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is also where we found a common ground with our Enneagram 8 and 9, where when I kind of want to go ballistic on somebody or put them in their place or make a ridiculous comment, we have a good thing now where I'm like, ooh, I look at you to see if I can disrupt the peace.
Yeah.
And he'll either look at me with his eyes bulging out of his head like, I will divorce you. Or he does this, like...
That's pretty much it, man.
Like, it's
do... either eye pop or eye roll.
Eye roll. It is an eye pop, which means, like, I swear, don't you dare.
Do not disrupt the peace.
Do not. Do not. Or sometimes, like, if we're sitting next to each other at events, at the school especially, people will say the most interesting things, and, like, he'll put his hand on my leg.
Yeah.
And just kind of rub it and pat it, like,
give a little squeeze there.
Yeah.
Just be kind of like, why don't we just
let's not
take a step back.
Let's not do that. We'll take Chloe for a walk when we get home, and you can lose your mind there. Yeah. I mean, the tea that our neighbors must know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if they're sitting in their backyards at night, the tea they must know.
Yeah. But the neighbor situation a couple weeks ago, where I was like, you absolutely cannot.
Oh yes.
Do what you want to do.
There was a domestic happening next door to us, and I heard it going on for well over an hour. So I was going to go over there and rescue her, and he was like, literally, you cannot do that. I'm like, we have to do something. Like, I can't do this. Like, I could hear them yelling and screaming for over an hour. I could hear glass breaking, and so we compromised. You said I cannot go over there, but you did say that I should call the police.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I did call the police, which is the wonderful sheriff who was so sweet and kind. Like 7 sheriff cars arrived, literally 8 sheriffs. And they said to me that walking into a domestic violence situation could be the most dangerous thing that I would do, and that I shouldn't do it. And that's why that many cop cars arrived, because it's such a very violent situation that even for them, it's the most dangerous call they go on.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never been around domestic violence, so I had no clue. I just knew that something needed to be done, so I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then he went away in the cop car, and it was great. Okay, so now I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll kind of go back and forth on this. How has the Enneagram helped you most understand me?
most understand
Most.
you?
What has it helped you understand about me most?
Oh man, you're doing this thing where you're asking me questions and I know you want a response right away, but like
So I'll answer it while you think.
sloth mode is
Yeah.
just
So he needs time to respond. So I would say for how the Enneagram has helped me understand him the most is that I know in this situation I'm going to ask this question and he's going to sit here. His mind is going a million miles an hour and I don't expect an answer right away. I know it is almost impossible to get an answer right away out of him. I know that, he knows like,
realistically you should have given me these answers beforehand so that way I could think about them.
I know I thought about, well, I was going to talk to you about him over dinner and then you were kind of
Okay.
checked out. And so then I was like, it'll be fine. But for me, it is this. Like, I know that he requires specific time for different things to be prepared for them. He needs more time to answer questions. He might be able to answer me in 10 minutes, 10 days, or 10 months. That's legitimately,
That's fair. Yeah.
that's a very fair statement. Yeah. And if we need, or if we have people coming on vacation to visit us, if we're going on a trip, if we're going to a game, if we're going to a movie, like you need days in advance to plan your energy
Mm-hmm.
because nines have the least amount of bandwidth.
Yep.
Yeah, you need the most alone time.
Yep.
Yep, of anyone.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, of anyone on the Enneagram.
I need more than you do.
Well, maybe, so how has the Enneagram helped you understand me? Did it help you realize, like, not everybody's like you?
Yeah, obviously. I also think that knowing how each other are together,
Yeah.
that
Or that I'm not crazy, that it really is that I'm just protected.
yeah, and I think there are definitely some times where I don't have the energy, but I know that something is important for you. So then I kind of like muster up the energy and just
Yeah.
suck it up and do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll even give you the chart for this one if you need to cheat.
Where are the answers at?
What is one thing that surprised you about my type? What is one thing that you were surprised about my type?
Oh, I think it's definitely I don't even need that.
Okay.
It's the max level of emotion. Like when you're angry, you're angry. When you're sad, and there's not really a
Yeah, it's not like
balance of it.
I'm not emotionally immature.
No, it's just
like insane in my body.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you stub your toe, the house is on fire. Do not look at you. Do not talk to you. But also give you attention. Ask you if you're okay.
No.
So it's just it's really just one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna ask one thing, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same thing. If you're happy, I'm like, okay, let's celebrate because you're gonna be happy on a high. And if you're annoyed, you're gonna be
super
extra annoyed. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And it really, I swear, this sounds like wild, insane emotional immaturity. It's not like you live with someone that's bipolar.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's just like, I'm so purely what I am in that moment. Like, I live all of my emotions very purely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And intensely.
Yeah, that's the word. Because you are intense, right? Isn't that what
we are the intense, challenging
intensive.
aggressors, protectors. Mm-hmm. But I think the hardest thing about being an 8 is like what everybody hates us for, our intensity, is also why they come to us when they need us. They hate us because we're the one carrying around a shovel, whacking people with it, but then they love us because we're the one carrying around the shovel that will, like keep them out of jail, making sure we've got all the footage we need and the shovel and, know. And so I think that's hard for people.
Mm-hmm.
What do you wish people understood more about me that you learned from the Enneagram?
More about an 8?
Yeah.
More about
what I wish y'all knew more about a 9 was he is actually, like, I think everybody thinks, like, I'm the crazy, opinionated one that dictates our life and what we do and what we don't do. And that is not true. That is you. Like, I wish more people knew that I was actually the more chill, easygoing one. And you were the one who it's like, no, they are not coming on vacation. No, we are not going to that dinner. No, that they are not coming over. Like, no, this is not, you know what I mean? That's you.
At times.
Your adaptability is very low.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I need weeks in advance to prepare for stuff.
Weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, we had these friends come in from Dallas over spring break. And they were literally like, hey, what are you guys doing right now? Do you want to get together? We're here. And we were like...
No, not a shot, man.
Well, one, For the people who don't have kids, we are the busiest people that you know because we go to all the kids that we know's games. Like, if it's possible for us to go to the game of a kid that we know and love, like, we're going to go to their game. And so we book out weeks in advance. And in general, you would have needed to prepare for that energetically for a week.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But it's also because we don't really have the, like, it's not like a strong relationship with these people. It's more of like they were.
Yeah, but in general, but that's the average person.
Yeah.
The only people that you would last minute adjust for is one of my siblings.
Yeah.
Including the girls.
Yeah.
My parents.
Absolutely.
And Nolan.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some more in there, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Like 2 more people?
Denise and David.
Denise and David and Zach and Lizzie. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot to leave out our pseudo sister and brother-in-law and their children who are like our extended niece and nephews. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right.
Wait, what's the question again?
That was about it. Oh, yeah. What do you wish understood about me with my Enneagram type of being an 8? That also is
I think it is just that bluntness.
Oh, that it comes from a good place?
Yeah. Like, it's not you being rude. It's not you being aggressive. It's just...
It really does.
Give me the facts straight. Like, let's get going.
Let's move along.
Let's get an answer for whatever's happening right now.
Yeah.
Because there's an answer to something. Let's just tell me what it is so we can figure it out and we can move on and be in a good place.
Yeah, I just want to like get to excellence as fast as possible.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like wasting time.
Nope.
But I think part of not wasting time either is I am a wing 7. My wing 7 is very strong. I also can wing to the 9 to that Peacemaker a little bit, where I can not, like, sometimes I don't do things because I'm like, even I don't want that tension. Yeah. Even I'm like, because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't want to disrupt my peace because I just don't want to deal with the fallout of it. Mm-hmm. Which I did mess up a little. I was a little too blunt yesterday on a video I made that went out to the world, and now I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna have to deal with that later. I dug myself. I'm like, dang it, damn it.
It's also one of those things where it's kind of like,
well,
is it really gonna harm anything?
I mean, and I said what needed to be said, and like people are agreeing with me, but I don't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously, now people are gonna be really annoying, and then that's gonna make me more annoyed. But my wing 7, which is like the adventurer, they love to have fun. They're like more is always more, excess. They're like the gluttony people. A lot of times I'm like, I need to hurry this up because it's wasting my time, and I want to get to the goodness. I want to get to the juiciness of life and the juiciness of the fun activity. And so when things are mundane or monotonous, I just want to bust through them so I can have more fun. How do you feel the Enneagram changed our marriage?
I think it's that finding that right balance. Because normally, if I had any sort of free time whatsoever before, it would have been, I'm going to go play video games until my eyes bleed or until you yell at me for getting off and spending time with
because you. I don't get sad, I get mad. So otherwise would probably come in and cry to their husbands that they're sad, they don't want to spend time with them. Yeah. I'm more like, why are you being an a-hole and like secluding yourself and not spending any time with me? Like, you're such a jerk. Yeah. Because 8's, I would say like 8's protective thing is we're pretty spicy with our words.
Spicy. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Like, so when we are sad, we just get mad. And then we just get hurtful. Yep. With our words. Yep. Like, woo, that was me. Like, the amount of things. My mom is probably going to need therapy until the day her body goes cold for the mean things that I said. Out of just sad madness. Yeah. Like, I was sad, so I got mad. And like, I was sad that she was going to miss my 14th birthday because she had a work trip. So I was mad because I can't be sad. And so then I said some really nasty things to her about what I hope her plane did. And then she's still sad. 26 years later, she's still sad. And I'm like, oh, I was just mad. Which means, I was sad, so I was mad. And so I said that.
Yeah. And then you're usually over it 20 minutes later.
So fast, and I don't even remember what I said. Yeah. And you're like, this is what you said. And I'm like, I did? Yeah. Really? Are we sure?
But I think that's also one thing that...
You learned that about me being an 8.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not excusing myself for being an asshole, but it just...
Language.
We can cuss on it.
What the? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know about that word, but it's been said, I guess. We just don't mark it
Um,
explicit.
but no, that's another thing is like I know you're gonna shoot off something spicy at me, and as a nine, like I do take that probably the
Well,
wrong way sometimes, but now it's kind of like,
yeah.
all right, you're a douchebag anyway, so I
You're
just let you do your
more,
thing, and then
yeah, you're more sensitive than people know.
yeah,
I mean, I'm very
I'm
sensitive
not sensitive at all. I'm a man.
internally.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yes, it is like
Check
let
my oil
her
today.
like kind of let her do her little spinning thing and like get it out and once because I do think with an for me and I think you would agree with this with an 8 the longer you make it take for them to get their anger out the longer they're going to be angry.
Hmm.
Like if you just let them like blow up and get it out, it's done and over.
Yeah, and I think that's where your parents are always kind of amazed on how our relationship is because
Mm.
you will talk to them and I will tell you to like, hey, knock it off. And they're like, how
Hmm.
do you do that with her? I'm like, because that's just how she is. Like, she's going to get spicy. She's going to say some things, and
Well, I think the difference is like you are so much more like my dad, where when I'm being spicy and spiraling, you and my dad know who they're the same Enneagram type. Y'all know it's not about you.
mhm.
And I think my mom feels it's like more about her.
Yeah,
And she's trying to reframe the situation to get me happy as fast as she can because and so an eight's basic need is to come against. My basic need is to like come against it. I gotta hate it before I can love it. I gotta be angry before I can be happy. And a nine is to just avoid anything that disrupts their peace and that rocks their boat. But for my mom, it's to avoid pain. So when I am in my little spiral and I'm angry about something and I'll pent up, she needs to reframe my situation because her body is not comfortable with my heightened emotions. Whereas I think you and my dad are better known, or maybe you guys know, like the quicker we let her lose her shit, the quicker we're going to get back to peace.
yeah. I think another thing is you mentioned it one time is if you're being sassy, if you're
Mm.
being like extra emotional, it's mostly like again, like you said, it's not about me. It's something.
Not about you.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not about. It's not about me. It's about something probably happened with you that you
Mm-hmm.
are still thinking about that you're still processing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being like, okay, you're being a dick to me right now, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, like what's going on? Like ask you that
Mm-hmm.
question of like, did something happen today
Mm-hmm.
that has upset you and that you're thinking about? Like, do we need to talk it out?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. And so you let
yeah,
me be mad.
yeah,
And with him, so nines, there's in every single Enneagram triad, right? There's the heart, the head, and the gut anger. So I'm the splurt out the anger. Enneagram ones are the hold it in and fester that they're angry. And the nines are the shove it down, like, what are you talking about? I'm not angry. And you're like very detached from your anger. And so you'll be being short.
oh yeah.
And just, but, and
But I think
I don't think you even cognitively know that you're bothered.
maybe not. But a lot of times, if I'm that way, it's because I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when you get
like
over
overstimulated.
very
I've been
overstimulated,
using that word a lot lately. Overstimulated.
it's near the end of the school year. Everyone at any school is very overstimulated right now.
Not me, man. It's mostly people that
I think the kids are really ready for a
yeah.
break. We're ready for summer break. We start in the middle of July. So it is, it is near the end for us. And so I think they're very stir crazy. The kids need a break. And
Yeah,
so they're a little extra right now.
sure.
But yeah, so then it's like when I'm being crazy, it's him giving me that space to get upset and be mad. And then I know, I have to ask you repeatedly again and again and again, like, okay, you're being short, you're being a little like detached. Like, what is going on
Yeah.
and what do you need? For me, I need to lose my mind and probably like scream and yell about something or like get a really good workout in. For you, you need to be able to like detach and shut yourself and decompress,
Yeah.
which you decompress by playing video games.
hmm Which like I feel like winning is also part of that. Like if I'm playing video games and
Hmm.
we're doing well and
Yeah.
we're winning, or if I'm playing like
Yeah.
a single person game that's fun, then
It like
that helps. Yeah.
recharges your,
Yeah.
but also you're completely detached from everyone.
Yeah.
So I think it recharges you
Yeah.
really, really quickly.
hmm
So yeah, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I thought I would tell in closing, is there anything else you want to say about learning about the Enneagram for us?
No, but I did learn today that I have dog jaw.
What?
Dog jaw?
Dog jaw?
Yeah. Like, feel this right here.
Well, I don't think I want to. Why are
Just
we
feel it
talking
right
about
here.
this right
Feel
now?
this right here.
What does this have to do with you being in
I'm just saying, like, learned that I had dog jaw today. Feel that right there.
I don't think I want to.
Just feel it.
I don't know. Oh my God, why would you do that?
Dog jaw.
Nobody listening thinks that's funny. They think that you just yelled and screamed, and that Carline probably needs to turn that down for a little bit for us, because anybody that's driving, we're gonna get sued. Somebody just drove into somebody and somebody hit somebody.
I wasn't doing
For
it for
somebody
you.
that really wants peace and calm, you definitely just made 8 people hit somebody. Oh my God, what the heck?
That was for me.
You can apologize to the people.
I'm not going to apologize.
Oh
to
my
people.
gosh.
If you want to see what happens, go to our YouTube.
Also,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Enneagram 9s are so stubborn. You're so stubborn.
No.
They are. But you don't know that about them. They are wildly stubborn. But that's also things that we've learned.
I saw this video one time, or this image one time that said 35% of men will die of stubbornness this month, and this year, and somebody in spray paint wrote, "No, we won't." And I was like, that's so fun.
Because that's so real.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a next level of stubbornness in your 9ness. So the funniest Enneagram story that we have is we learned about the Enneagram for a couple of years, and we had just moved here. And from his job transferring, he'd promised me that he had called, at this point, probably 8 times, called this place to make sure that this paperwork was getting finalized to transfer all of our investments from his old job over to his new job. And there's deadlines and things that goes with all this. So it was a big deal that he did this, and he kept saying that he had called them. And then we're sitting there in our bedroom, and he's on his laptop, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, look, I found their email I found the email from them." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They said they were going to send it in the mail. And he goes, "Yeah, I guess they sent it via email." And I'm like, "Okay, but you've called them 8 times at this point, and every single time they've said it's coming in the mail, it's coming in the mail, and it's just not coming in the mail. So does that mean that you've never once called them?" Aaron?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Did you ever call them?
Probably not, but I don't know.
You don't remember this story?
No.
Did you block this out?
Maybe, man.
When we first moved here to Arizona, and you were supposed to do all the paperwork? Do you remember that? And then I lost my mind for like 2 weeks. I was so mad. I didn't talk to him for 2 weeks. No, I did not talk to you for 2 weeks. But like, I didn't bring it up for 2 weeks. I was like, I am so, like, you've been lying to me for the past 5 weeks about this. Like, I don't even know what to say to you right now. Like, why would you be lying? To which then my mom said, "Well, what would make him lie? Because he's not a liar. He's not a bad person. It's not your character. It's not to lie." And she was like, "Well, what about that Enneagram thing?" And I was like, "Well, he's a peacemaker." And she's like, "Okay, so why would a peacemaker lie?" And I was like, "Well, a peacemaker would lie if they're afraid it would disrupt their peace." And I said, "I suppose I can be a little scary sometimes." And my mom goes, "Oh my gosh, you can be really scary."
You can be really scary.
Thanks, Barb. That is something that I did learn about myself. Learning that I was an 8 was like, what I felt like is just a level 2. Most people take it's a level 8. Because it's not that I get loud. It's like I have this intensity. You always say, like,
intensity, man.
Yeah, he's always like, "You're yelling." And I'm like, "I'm not yelling." But it's like
it's the hand motions.
It's the intensity.
What are you doing here?
It's the intensity of the frequency shooting off of my body.
Yeah.
Feels loud to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he didn't do that. And so we found that out. And so then a couple days goes by, and he'd taken my car to work and back, and my friends were coming. You remember this? Nope. And we go to get in the car, and I was like, "Do you want to drive or do you want to ride?" And he'd just been driving. And he was like, "I'll ride." And I was like, "Okay." Well, I noticed as we're jumping in the car, he tosses a towel down. You remember this now?
Yeah.
It's all coming back to you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Throws a towel on the passenger seat. And I thought to myself, well, this is really interesting.
What'd you think to yourself?
I thought to myself, well, this is really interesting, because we just found out that you can be a pathological liar to me because you don't want my intensity. So I'm going to like breathe deep through this and try not to be intense. And I said, "What are you doing there?" And you're like, "Oh, I spilled something." And I was like, "What'd you spill?" And you were like, "Water." In my head, I was like, "You idiot. I know you didn't spill water, but like, I'm just going to let you believe that I believe you that you spilled water, because we've got more to do than argue about like what you spilled on the seat that you obviously are too afraid to tell me at this very moment." So this is years ago. So we go about our day. We're running around doing all the things. A group of 6 friends of mine are coming in town. Lies. 11 of them. 11 of my friends are coming in town to spend the next 5 days. It's when all the girls came from
Yep.
Texas.
I get it now.
Yep. And I'm in there getting, like, we go do all the errands. We come back, and it might have even been the next day. And he walks and runs into our bedroom. I'm like packing. They're coming through the front gate. And do you remember this?
Nope.
You walked in there and you're like, I need to tell you something. And I was like, you guys remember, short, blunt, to the point. My friends, 11 of my friends, are rolling through the front gate of our complex. And he walks in the bedroom like, okay, I want to spill my guts to you now. Oh, are you kidding me, bro? Like, I'm getting ready to leave for 6 days and now you want to dump your guts to me? Like, okay, fine, what? This was the next day, for sure. And you go, it wasn't water that I spilled on your seat. You remember that?
It was the LaCroix, wasn't it?
Yes, because what happened?
Apparently, you leave
We just moved to Arizona.
aluminum can uncracked
And
in a hot
closed
car.
in Arizona.
That sucker explodes like it would in a freezer.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
I did put a LaCroix can in the freezer a month ago. And in the middle of the night, I forgot about it, but I didn't know I forgot about it. And even when this happened, I didn't think about it. And that bish exploded in our refrigerator right outside our bedroom door. And it sounded like gunshots going off.
Oh, man.
This man grabs his 9-iron, which you keep by your bed.
Yeah.
Sure does. And starts running up and down the hallways of our house, convinced that somebody broke in.
I mean, because that boom was so stinking loud.
Loud. I disrupted your peace in your sleep. And then the next day, we opened up the freezer door, and I found that it was actually a can of LaCroix. Now, the can of LaCroix on my seat, I was very calm about, and I laughed.
Yeah, because it wasn't sticky.
It wasn't sticky, but I also felt like it was a really good learning point in our marriage for me to go, okay, like, you obviously lied about that. Why did you lie about that? And you were like, I don't even know why I lied about it. And I was like, okay. So that's where I started learning, like, I've got to be better about, like, what are my reactions to different situations, and you've got to be better about being honest.
Yeah.
And not lying for fear of the intensity that will come with it. Because I actually get more intense when you lie.
Correct.
And then, because I'm always going to figure it, and then you learned, an 8 is kind of psychic. We're always going to figure it out.
Yeah. But then I'm also, like, sometimes I just tell you the truth because I don't think it's a big deal. And I think sometimes you make a bigger deal about some of the small things. Like,
yeah. It depends on the
like,
day.
obviously that was a learning experience for both of us. I've never had anything explode.
I have never left,
before.
and I've never left a LaCroix can in my car because of that.
Yeah, me either.
You've done it again?
No, probably.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yes, 8s are a little psychic, and we know.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would love to share about how the Enneagram has helped your marriage, our marriage? Or you in general, it's really helped you, but it's helped us.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times we discuss people that we work with. Like, it's not about our marriage, but
yeah,
we discuss people.
It is like a really common language in our marriage.
Yeah. And, obviously, way more than I do about it.
Yeah.
So you'll say, like, oh, this person is probably a 3, and that's why they're acting that way. So
you shouldn't do that, but I'm like very...
yeah, obviously it's all very generic and...
Yeah, I'm like very deeply intense with the Enneagram, and I study people and why they're doing what they're doing. Like, I live to do that.
But you're also very good at typing people.
Yeah. I'm like...
Yes.
I'm like legit God-gifted at typing people.
Yeah, but my chair's not straight right now, so I gotta even that out real quick for all you people. They can't see me.
Can't see you.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, I think
yeah,
that really helps because we'll say, like, oh, this person's probably an 8 too, and that's why they're so intense, or this person's a 1 and they're...
We use it with my family a lot.
Perfectionist.
Yeah. We use it. I think it also is a really good language for us in our marriage, like you're saying, to help us. It helps us understand people, so it keeps our home more peaceful because we're not upset with people in the external world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Because we can just chat it out about it and them and us, and or we'll do the thing where it's like, so if an 8 gets stressed, they go to a 5, and I tend to, like, really shut down, and a lot of Amazon boxes with self-help books start appearing on the doorstep. That's how you know I'm stressed. And if he's stressed, he goes to like the 6 and you kind of down spiral.
Oh yeah.
And nothing's getting better.
Nothing.
Everything's going to hell in a handbasket real quick like.
Yep. World over.
World over. And so he knows how to know if I'm stressed. I don't know how to know if he's stressed. And then we can help each other move back towards security.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that balance.
Yeah. So you're glad you know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would learn it all over again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not just some other dumb, stupid personality thing.
What?
It's not like you don't feel like it's...
Oh, I don't think so. But also,
You've used it.
Again, the whole Ben question, going back to that and him saying what he said to me, but it's been so accurately describing me that it's kind of hard to...
Like, it knew you deeply.
Yeah, like, offensively deeply.
Like, that's what I was going to say. It's like, do you feel like the Enneagram can be really hard for some people and they reject it because it is so honest about all the good
probably.
and all the bad?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much was like, you can be an asshole. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I yelled at it first.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
I was so pissed. I yelled at my laptop. I was like, aggressive? I'm not aggressive. You're aggressive. Are you kidding me? Like, who tells somebody this? I was so mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel like, so you know we know all the types of your in-laws, my family. Yep. How do you feel like it's helped you with them?
No, I don't know.
What?
I've never thought about that, to be honest with you.
You don't
I think that I learned a lot from your dad.
On being a 9?
On how to handle certain individuals. How to handle you.
Yeah.
And how he's managed to do it for the past 40 years.
Yeah. My dad was, I know all parents are chosen to be their kids' parents, but my dad was definitely chosen to be my dad.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, he would definitely be in jail at this point.
Oh, for sure. Gang, when they're like, she's either going to run...
gang are going to join?
No, they're like, she's either going to like run a gang and be in jail, or she's going to be the president. Like, that kind of energy is my kind of energy.
I think you're a gang in Iowa would be a cult in Iowa. You'd probably be a cult leader.
I could be a cult leader.
Great cult
Actually,
leader.
I would make like a really great cult leader. I think you're really right.
Should we start a cult?
No, we're not starting a cult.
Let's just put a pin in that real quick.
We'll put a pin in it. We'll come back to that one later. Oh my gosh. But I think it's helpful. Like, I think it's helpful. Like, we know that Sam is... So, like, my sister-in-law, Amber, who is a 4. I think it's so important to understand Amber's a 4.
Oh, are you talking about that for in-laws?
Yes. Who do you think I'm talking about?
I'm talking about Alan and Barb, like my in-laws.
They're all your in-laws.
Yeah, think about that.
Like Alan, Barb, Brett, Adam, Sam, Amber. Like, even the kids, Brinley, Bracken.
Yeah, they're too young to have a personality yet.
No, they do. Are you kidding? Brinley?
Brinley's just sassy.
She has a personality. That's what I mean. Like, I think that it's so important.
Barrett's a storyteller.
Barrett is definitely... He's got to be... He's got such a storyteller.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so important. Imagine not knowing that Amber was a 4.
Yeah.
You would probably just think, like, she's got a lot of emotions all the time.
Yeah.
I think knowing that she's a 4 makes it, like, we know her type. So, like, it's like, you don't think that, oh, she is, like, they're the individualist. They like to be unique. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. How I can, like, surge to anger really quick, they can surge to sad really quick. Like, actual sad. Yeah. How I don't really know what anger is, like, or I don't really know what sadness is because I'm just angry. Like, they're just, like, they can just be sad. They can experience this constant melancholy. And so I think knowing that, it causes us to be a lot more intentional about not, like, tossing her into the mix. Mm-hmm. Like, when she says she wants to come visit, we're like, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Brett being a 3, we know why Brett's a 3, which is the achiever. So it helps us know why it's almost impossible to spend time with him. Mm-hmm. Because he's busy working. Because he's in his achiever era. Sam is a 9. That doesn't bother you. But for anybody else who isn't a 9 and has a sister-in-law that's a 9, I think it's really important to know that they're not ignoring you. They literally just like to be by themselves.
Yep.
Kind of like you.
Yep.
And I think then it helps.
Or if they don't respond to a text message, they're probably still thinking about how to respond, and they've probably written it out like 8 times. They're like, nope, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so it doesn't offend me that Sam either doesn't respond to text message or responds in like 12 business days, because I know that she's just like you.
Yeah.
and she's just formulating it and figuring it out, and it takes a lot of her capacity to be able to respond.
Yeah, because
So-
we like
Yeah.
comfort.
Yes, you like comfort,
Yeah.
and it's a lot for you to respond to a text.
Yep.
Even the simple ones.
We don't want to
You don't want to rock the boat.
there you go. Rock
Yes,
the boat. I
rock
was
the
going to say row the boat, but
Yeah, and then Adam, Adam's the baby, and he is the 6, which is the loyalist, so he is the most loyal, but they also are...
that boy can spiral.
They are also the most innately pessimistic, and so it's like you got to know if he's calling.
You get 2 hours.
I know. We're currently in a standoff. He's currently mad at me because
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
was mad at the neighbor, and he did not respond in the appropriate way that I felt like he needed to respond, but he took my craziness internally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he internalized my craziness. But you know what? He's in his 30s now, so it's time to learn that when your sister's mad, it's not about you. It might have been to you, but it was actually not about you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're learning that. But because of the Enneagram, it'll be all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Really, I just hurt his feelings. And so now I'm like, oh, jeez. But because he is a 6, I gotta go to his feelings in a specific way. Yep. There we go. Loyal forever. So yeah. All right. Well, All Things Excellence fam, what we are going to do, we kicked off here today with Enneagram and marriage. But what we're also going to start doing, we're going to start having different Enneagram types join us every single week.
Are we starting a series right
We
now?
are starting a series
Here.
Oh,
That's dope.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting a series. You were the kickoff to a series. Didn't I? I know I told you that.
No,
You chose not to listen.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I literally told you I want to start a series where I'm featuring a different Enneagram type every single week, but I want to kick it off with Enneagram and marriage.
I recall some of that stuff.
I gave you like a 6-week notice. Like Carline has been waiting for this series to start.
Hey man, I'm just excited about it. I'm super. Who's the next person on?
We'll have to find out.
Oh, better like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Notifications.
Hit
Ding.
follow.
Do we have?
Maybe even give us some stars.
Do we have sound effects on this thing? I'll make some sound effects for you.
You're gonna get us fancy with sound effects.
I'm just gonna mouth it.
Oh. Okay. Like, subscribe, and follow. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and definitely come back for week two of our 10-week at least series on the Enneagram.
Can I interview you for the 8?
Do you want to interview?
No,
me?
I don't want to. I'm not very good at interviewing. We already discussed this.
I really think that there is no better 8 episode than Chris Parker and I being on together.
Hell yeah, Chris Parker.
I know.
Yep.
Chris
Sold.
Parker is I'm the same age as her kids. She's been a mentor in my life. She is an 8 who is married to a 9, just like me. And we have traveled with them. They are marriage mentors to us. And yeah.
Great people.
Super great people.
Great people.
And I always look to her to go, eventually I'm going to get it good and right.
Yeah.
And calm.
Randy's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
The GOAT.
On handling how to be married to an 8 for a long time.
He's doing it right.
Yeah. They've been married for like 50 years.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Y'all get to meet her. So thank you again. Chloe has entered the room, which means she just wants us to take her for a walk. So we better get to it. Thank you, All Things Excellence fam. We will see you next time.
Peace.